I come from a civilized D10I on HO Manasio. How sad. Mother wanted me to bring you this. Okay. Thank you. And no problem. Just get well and make us some of your soap again, please. I am an earthling and inhabitant of a civilized world. F/FTY years. It's been 50 years since I fell into this damned world. We were on our way to the company workshop with Director Kim and everyone else, when we were suddenly swept up by a landslide and woke up in a giant fox with 3 talls, a 2-headed red snake, and strange men who can fly. Despite that, I knew my co-workers would live better lives than everyone else. Except for me. The sage-like beings who descended from above were in awe of my co-workers' mythical talents, and took each one of them into the sky. To be honest, we had our hopes that something special would happen to us too, but Director Kim and I didn't have any special abilities. Without knowing much about this world, all we was manual labor. 6 months later, Director Kim told me he couldn't live like this any longer and used all his money to buy a third-rate martial arts book sold on the streets. Within 3 months, he mastered it and became a full-fledged martial artist. He worked for the nation and learned martial arts that were more and more advanced. After he became a powerful warrior, he left for the Jianghu, leaving me behind. Something special happened to me as well? But until the end. After 50 years, I am now just an old man dying from the common cold. I am from Earth. I've tr/ed my hardest to live. I learned the language and how to write, made a living, bought a small plot of land, and built my own house. I started making some decent money when I began to make soap using lye. In this equivalent of medieval China, soap was essentially a new concept. However, even that ended after thieves stole my soap recipe and their thugs booted me out of the market. I'm on. I am waiting for my death, having been refused by this world. I am waiting for my death, having been refused by this world. What do you want me to do? 1H9 Noel and 3M tried my hardest. Kever what must, I 2-inch 0S1. WHE current I have been selected. Even if TM not SPCIAR. WHEDOF have TO contend having things taken AWAE from me. I no longer have the energy to keep my eyes open. If I just had a bit more power, maybe I might have had more opportunities. And how? KEUK. Ugh. Ha? Why am I still alive? Are these the clothes I wore back on Earth? Ugh. My head. WH, where are we? I've finally realized it. I did and come to this world W/thou powers. I gained the power of regression. We were just on our company trip. 1TS the FLRST day. The first day we fell into this strange world. While we were in the SUV, we suddenly got swept up by a landslide. Yeah, the landslide happened, and I saw a bright light. It's hard to remember what happened 50 years ago, though. HUI, Manager CO. If I've regressed, what should I do now? Oh, most regression stories start with abusing future information, but all I know is how to make soap. Manager SEOIANNHNOH, Section Chief. Sorry, I was just surprised. 7/. You fucking idiot. Do D3ZODNOF while driving on the mountainside? You almost got us all killed. I'd forgotten about that. I haven't heard that title in so long. I couldn't tell he was referring to me. Manager SEO, do you want to lose your job the moment we get back? Yeah, Section Chief John Myinghun is a son of a bitch. He's the nephew of John Myon Chul, I'm managing director at the company I worked at. SJD Company Section Chief John Manhwa. He's a lucky bastard who became a section chief at the age of 32 by nepotism. Hold on. Stop right there. Manager SAO couldn't have avoided that landslide, and no matter what he did. Aren't you mad? Chief IIHO sneeze sign bastard was dozing off. That's why we're in this situation, Yeah, I definitely dozed off. But the reason I did was because you handed your work over to me, John Inohono 3AW. That's why I had to stay up late. Moreover, weren't you supposed to be in charge of driving? Man, this idiot got all of us stranded. I'm slowly starting to recall my memories from 50 years ago. I was still so shocked back then that I apologized to John Manhwa. I thought I was one in the wrong. Then I went on to spend the next 50 years just like that, apologizing to people. Even when a group of bandits trampled over me and took my belongings. When a damned martial artist mocked me, or when a regional official took everything I had in the name of taxes, I kept apologizing. But there was one thing I realized after years of keeping it in. Sure. I have to keep my temper in front of those that I can't handle. But Section Chief John, I know you're mad, 194, but now's not the time to be pointing fingers. What? You damn son of a bitch. Are you asking for a fight? I don't need to kneel down to someone I can handle. In my past L/Fay, I'd been beaten up by martial artists countless times. I was beaten up by bandits while getting herbs in the mountains, by more bandits on years of a bad harvest, and even by officials because I couldn't pay my taxes. Quaff. In that world of violence, too, I was able to gain something that these people lack. Violence. If you hit someone in the eyes, their fear is amplified. After being beaten up like this, Sesam OMLK7 no instinctively leave your mouth. I am sorry. I'm sorry. I may not have the mythical talents mentioned by those transcendent individuals or amazing martial arts that would make me famous in the martial arts world. Few the ability to change fate. Ack. And Manager SEO, Nox D1 no MOH do that to your own colleague dash? You're right. Phew, I just got so angry there. I'm sorry if you were all shocked. I won't see these people again until I die anyway. As I was the one who was driving, I apologize for this accident, too. Sure. Section Chief John was being a bit harsh, you couldn't really have done anything there. Even then, you overreacted, Manager SEO. Apologize to him directly. But I'll continue seeing Director Kim. Yes, you're right, Director Kim. Director Kim will become one of the strongest martial artists there is once he gets to learning. If I support him as much as I can in this life, I'm sure I'll get something out of it too. That means I need to get on his good mon 34 is. Section Chief John, my reaction was not warranted. I apologize. UF. Anyway, why don't we try to get out of these woods? And look for a village? That's the logical thing to do. But Director, don't you see something over there? Yes. Common sense has no place in this. Here, immortals fly wild, trying to secure their immortality, and the only rule that reigns in this land is the strong devours the weak. The people of this place, the Murim, will fight with swords for wealth and honor. This forest's name is Ascension Path. There is no village, city, or nation anywhere around here. Director, the sun is going to set soon. Why don't we set up a shelter somewhere safe? You're right. What about the car? DSS, there's quite a lot of things in there that we packed for the workshop. It's a shame, but we won't be able to find the car. Of course, they won't believe me. I'll just let them look for the car instead of wasting my energy trying to convince them. Let's split up, then. One team can look for shelter, and the other can look for the car. Why don't we get back here before it's completely dark? I don't get it. We were in a landslide while we were in a CR, so how did we end up here while the CRIS gone? Ha! I don't get it either. Whoa! This tastes like chestnuts, oh. It's crunchy, right? FA I got a lot, so have as much as you want. Ha, goodness. It's a pretty serious situation, but we're having fun thanks to you, Manager SEO. I knew you were this dependable even back in the company. You're so diligent. If I remember correctly, you were tired while driving. Because you had TO work late yesterday, too. Ahem. You're right. Our manager is really diligent. IT feels like we're camping thanks to this cave he found. Right? In my past life, we found this place only after being lost in the woods for hours. I was just lucky. Buddy, you can just take the compliment. Yeah, I'll enjoy this moment. Tonight will be the last moment. We can laugh like this. IWD3JH0II greetings to the Lord 0F the Forest. Shu/TE the UN/K sent for a human. Despite having lived thousands of years, I have never smelled humans L/Ku. Manager Seo, what is? Kaya. A monster. A monster. SH show your manners to the Lord of the Forest. G get on your knees. Every time one come across you humans. 1 am reminded how fool/sh and rude you all are. One would usually r/p off all your L/MBS. But since one of you seems to know how to treat me, one shall forgive you. With that be slashing said. You must pay the price for being in my tur/Tory. E1F one of you offer me an arm. / will let you stay here. In my past life, everyone saw this monster and screamed in panic. And we all ended up dead having angered the fox. But it seems like the fox appreciates my manners this time. Now, who W/LL give me their arm? 1TS not all our limbs like last time. Just one person's arm. That's all we need to SACR/Vice. Even a lost arm will be healed by the cultivators who'll appear 2 days later. Plus, I've already prepared an herb that'll reduce the pain. I will offer my arm. You know your manners 1W/LL try to make it as pos/unless as pos/blee in return. Ugh. Ack. The herb. It hurts so bad. One thought UM/GHT taste different since you smell different. But you taste the same as the other humans. Actually, you taste worse because of all the imper/T/ES in your V/NS. The herb actually helped a lot with the pain. Huff huff, I apologize that my offering was not good enough. 1W/LL allow you to stay for 7 days in my territory. You won't D1E thanks to MYE divin/tie.e. KGH. M Manager SAO. Manager SAO. Let's go inside. 77 I explain. I met that fox when I left the cave early this morning. The fox told me. The Murim? You mean we're in the Morim? Ha ha. I would have never imagined. Anyway, we'll be safe for a week since I gave up my arm. A week? What about after? We need TO give up. Huff huff, something else. I'm getting sleepy. I'm going TO rest a bit. I hope you understand. Section cheer John. How can you say that? Manager says Zero sacrificed his own arm. I can't. SAE I agree with you either. OHM and 3HL wants to give up their arm and leg one in a week? But still. Manager SEO is very useful. He's the one who provided US food and shelter. So we'll learn as much as we can from him in a week. Since he's already lost an arm, he won't last long anyway. That's why we should have him be the sacrifice again. So, now that I've become debilitated, he wants to chop off one of my limbs every week to give to the fox? That's not exactly pleasing. DFN/tele not. With the violence I've learned from beaten up for 50 years, I can easily kill a modern-day man like John Manhwa with one arm. 1 OTNOHS kill him. Few know. The fear surely must have just paralyzed our minds. If I act too cruel or GHT mon, it'll cause 1 SSUESW/TH my relationship with Director Kim. Hey, John Manhwa. Shut the fuck up if you don't want your ankles to break again. But yeah, they're good people. 1TS just a confusing situation for everyone. The next day. Unlike the fox who ate my arm, the two-headed snake only requested for a small amount of blood. It's the very same snake that sucked out CHIFO's blood who'd lost his limbs in the last life. If it's just a small amount. Chifo put his own arm forward this time. EUGHBLEGH. Disgusting. 3HL CIHL worst humac blood I've ever had. It's the blood of a Z1 century worker, drenched in nicotine and cholesterol. That motherfucker. No wonder it'd taste gross. John MYONGHON, come with me to pick some herbs. What? Did you just call me by my full name? Aren't you hungry? I am. Knox 113111 about the fruits and edible herbs, so follow me. FAFR really? I plan to give my arm to the fox next week as well. If I die, someone needs to know how to survive in this forest. Really? Haha, thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks. The fox won't be coming back, and you'll never make use of this knowledge. John Manhwa. How many me's do I need to tell you that that's the wrong fruit? Concentrate. Sorry. That fruit will get you killed. Understand? HHOLD on. 44 Hyatt I. I need a break. I've been D/GGING nonstop T0 get these herbs. Mos ICHL John Manhwa used to punish me when I first entered the company. We need to finish before dusk, so hurry up. THTH is F ginseng? This thing is massive. This is natural ginseng, right? Yeah, something like that. WHOAIT does resemble ginseng. But to be precise, it's a yellow bamboo root. T might be because the ascension path is so full of energy, but yellow bamboo roots, which are typically as small as a pinky finger, grow TO3H3H3ZISCIT won't be of much use to cultivators, but it's in medicine for martial artists that's used it should help Director Kim. It might be because the ascension path is so full of energy, but yellow bamboo roots, which are typically as small as a pinky finger, grow to this size here. There's 2 more right there. Hanana amazing. Is it okay to dig up this much wild ginseng? Of course, take your shirt off and place them in your shirt. It's almost time now. Now, let's head back. Qua. Nug. Aya. HHUH? What's wrong with you guys? Oh, zero, what a surprise. To think we define such UNCU7 talent here. Be gone. Buko. They are mine. How shameless, Higwak. YYO you people are. Who? Are you people? Only those 3 have spirit-vul roots. The rest mortals. Qua. Section Chief John. Incredible. It's the body of heavenly golden thunder. Move. It's my turn. Ugh. Ghostly transforming immortal root. To think such a thing really existed. Unique holy body. WH what's going on? Oh ho. To think such a body could exist. I will take you three as disciples of the Azure Heaven Creation sect. All three of you have the talent to change the entire world. I can't breathe. What is this force? 45 I feel LLKE I die 1 if I refuse. No. Join the Black Ghost Valley instead. We have every cultivation method. Damn you. Immortality. No. Join the Black Ghost Valley instead. We have every cultivation IAEH3W the power to overturn the heavens. Fame and wealth. One will ensure you get all of those things within 100 years. What are you saying? The Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder sect is the most suited to hold on. Could you get us out of this forest? We'll all die here at this rate. SGG. Mortals woo roro much. We mo you get to the ascension path with body? Seems like one of them lost an arm to the 7 fox. Seeing the wound. He offered it up himself. You may be a mere mortal. But YOVVE got guts. Thank you. We captured all the beasts and monsters of the ascension path on the way here. I'll be safe here for the next 10 years. Wait. Hold on. We don't even know which way to go to leave. Section Chief John. Chief O. Deputy Manager Kong. The same thing happened 50 years ago. And no matter how hard we shouted, they ignored us like insects and continued on their way. But at least he healed my arm. Huff. Huff. Damn it. What do you want us to do? In a forest like this? What are all those lights in the sky? Is there something in that direction? The next day T33. 10 of. Cough, cough. Deputy Manager SEO, Deputy Manager O's in terrible condition. IIS there's some kind of herb we could use? What must we do? Let's wait a little longer. Someone might appear and heal her. Ha? HYYJ. Mortals in the ascension path. Like ants suffering among the competition between dragons. WHWHO are you? 1 a.m. the Sea Dragon King. CO Huiol. Of Control the Storm. Yes. The storm suddenly appeared out of nowhere. I came to look for its cause. That lady lying over there must have used the sorcery of the storm. She's an ordinary woman without even a trace of cultivation. How could she wield such overwhelming power? Additionally, she's not even doing it consciously. How strange. Actually. We've only not been in this place for long, yet one after another, powerful people like you appear. And take away my companions? XX. So you're saying, amongst your Ceoliagus, there were a few with extraordinary potential, and then, as if prearranged, powerful cultivators showed up and took them AWA? And now, here I am, conveniently appearing in front of this woman? Yes. Dear mortal, do you know where we are? 49. This place is known as Ascension Path, or the Path to Ascension. It's a key gateway that leads to the upper realm. 59. This place is known as Ascension Path, or the Path to Ascension. In just a few months, a dimensional rift called the Ascension Gate will open right around here. It happens once every 1,000 years. Lenolselenazaran Aders and would have already begun gathering around Path to Ascension to ascend, so isn't it quite likely that cultivators like myself would appear near you? I see. But they said they were taking my colleagues to join their sects. If they're ascending to the upper realm, how can our colleagues EW3HLNI or? Well, I guess it might be hard for mortals like you to understand. There's a technique amongst cultivators used to shrink large objects and store them inside cal tools like this. They've likely stored their sects inside items like these. Their goal is to ascend to the upper realm along with their entire sect when the ascension gate opens. In fact, I, too, have packed one of the undersea castles of my SEA Dragon clan inside this very item. It IN 1800 SEA dragons lie dormant. How peculiar. And intriguing. If she were to join the SEA Dragon clan, she could become something extraordinary. W8. Miss O. 2-inch KUGH. I will give her my blood and accept her as my kin. Lug, that would be best for all of us. Also, one more piece of advice. Don't casually ask high-level cultivators questions. KGUH. KKUGH. You. Ugh. I answered because I'm generous, But most cultivators would have killed you for the mere act of asking a question. They've all been kidnapped. What even is this? An avalanche out of nowhere. Then immortals and dragons abduct my colleagues. Ha! Ha ha! Hey! Manager SEO, please. You must not be taken ASOL 113M. If you're taken too, I won't be able to survive in this forest alone. Unfortunately, our time is up. 4AAH. Ugh. Something's coming. WH, what's wrong with you now? Director Jaiwi. It's here. EWWH. Ha? Mortals? How did mere mortals get into the path noise in 3 SVOL? KU. 33 SIHO. When the Ascension Gate is about to open, the surrounding space becomes unstable. They must have been caught in a spatial storm. Coo. I really am a genius. Anyway, mortals, who was LSNR OHM3NO3HL emitted that massive consciousness? That was such a powerful presence. ITHOIGHT, a sage from the upper realm had descended. Was IT that girl? WHWHO, are you? Manager Kim is our colleague. D. Director Kim. D. Deputy Manager SEO. Thank you. A. Are you alright? Why are back? Okay. Child, let me take you in. You don't have any spiritual root, but I can awaken it for you with my power. I wonder what would happen if such a strange consciousness evolved into a cultivator's divine consciousness. D28DD, Rector. Deputy Manager. Are you still clinging to your worldly attachments? Even after I offered to take you in? In that case, one shall sever those tests for you myself. No. PP Lease. I'll do anything you ask. Just spare them. Then you must forget all your worldly ties. Understand? I understand. But if I leave them here, you'll remain attached. S0, I'll return them to a mortal nation nearby. They'll be randomly scattered through a dimensional rift. Not even I know where they'll land. Whoa. WH, what ISIISIH1, damn it, I have TO grab the herbs. W8. Yoon Hien. No. Newly arrived scriptures from Xingji. Ha? Where is this? In my previous life, I didn't fall into a place like this. Who's that lunatic? Sathat Immortal was telling the truth. Where WE land is random. I see. Though, this path feels familiar for some reason. I see. This is the place I once lived in. The capital of Yenghua, Sukyung City. Manager CO. I can't keep up with what's going on anymore. I feel the same way. It would be nice if this was all just a dream. Phew. It's just the two of us left behind. Well, I guess. I should be relieved that we weren't taken by those monsters. I don't know about that either. I may have regressed, but in my past life, I was nothing but a powerless herb gatherer. Anyway, we can't stay in this alleyway forever. Why don't we get out of here? Alright. K. What are they saying? It sounds like Chinese. Why are the people whispering while looking at us? They're saying that the clothes we're wearing look funny. INHNHH. Don't worry, director. FAL. I know a bit of Chinese. His back is UHHH. THTH, that's great. I lied. The language they're speak/ing is not Chinese. HKKHK. Other than the fact that they use the same characters, IT sounds completely different. In my past life, I had to endure the mockery of beggars for 2 months. This fucking idiot. Ha ha. Just to learn the basics of the language. But now there's no need for that. Then shall we get some new clothes? Ha? How? I feel like they wouldn't accept our money. Mediocrity. Goodness. Your HN8SN9 and UJ37 such precious herbs? Those yellow bamboo roots are at least 800 years old. Of course. This should be worth about 15 silver ingots. 15. I've never had that much money in my past life. Ahem. Then, hurry. REGHT away. What? This is the house we're gonna live in? Yes. From today onward, I'll teach you the language of this place. Ha ha. Thanks, Manager Aseo. I made it seem like there's no problem. But after BR/Bing some guys for identity plaques and buying the land and house, we only have 1 silver ingot left now. I guess it's because we're in the capital, but everything is so expensive here. Hey, since we're in a whole new place now, why you by name? Okay. That's fine, director. Thanks, Seo Unhyun. The reason IWA's able to get all this money was because I sold those herbs. We won't have a source of income if we run out of herbs, so we need to figure out a way to bring money in. I wonder how. How about we use the silver we'll get from selling the rest of this to start a business? With all the money we can get from this, as well as his skill set from having been a director in a mid-sized company, we should be able to make a living. But that's not enough. Since I've regressed, why don't I dream bigger? Director Kim Young-hun is a martial genius. After reading some third-rate martial arts books sold on the streets, he became a martial master in just a few months. Once he learned the more advanced techniques, he became one of the most powerful martial artists in the Jianghu. But what if he were to learn advanced martial arts from the start? 7. I might be able to shift forward the birth of the greatest swordsman in the Jiang by at least 30 years. Then I'm going to benefit as much as I can while working for him. Director, THASIS Murim, a world of martial arts. Who knows when the gangs of the Jianghu might come for us if we set up a business? Shouldn't we at least learn a bit of self-defense? And martial arts? But they don't teach people outside the sects their martial arts. How will we learn? As a well-known Murim novel nerd, I knew he'd be interested. In this city, there are 7 famous sections. Among those, the demon-slaying sect, self-binding temple, suppressing birdhouse, and the 7 mysteries sect are on the orthodox side of the Jianghu, whereas the Wolf-Fang gang, the Dark Knight Association, and the dragon-fighting stronghold are considered unorthodox. The people call them the 4 stars and the 3 demons. Consider it unorthodox, the people call them the 4 stars and the 3 demons. The demon-slaying sect mainly learns sword and blade techniques. The self-binding temple is a Buddhist sect, while the suppressing birdhouse is like the HAO sect. They treat intel. The 7 mysteries sect has a very long history. They learn all kinds of martial arts. On the other hand, there isn't much information known about the 3 demons. It is said that they are proficient in stealth techniques and sorcery. They do a lot of illegal things. Which sect do you like the best? The Demon Sling sect, of course. A martial artist should wield a sword, and a man should learn blade techniques. Fitting for the man who was called the best swordsman in my past life. But how do you know all this? Ha, I was eavesdropping on some martial artists talking earlier. 3 months later. Stop. What brings you here? He's my older brother. We heard about how famous the Demon Sling sect is and came here wishing to learn martial arts. 6 They look like they have a decent amount of money. I'm sorry, but learning martial arts at his age will be difficult. Ha ha. Won't you at least let us talk to someone of a higher status? Even just simple self-defense would do. So you want to learn martial arts for self-defense? Yes. The best one there is. Pop B please. Ahem. Oh, I suppose NI or A1 no? Non-AS an external disciple. However, we don't give special treatment NI or OHM3 Sol OL with donations. In addition, we'll only accept one of you. All that money was worth one yellow bamboo root, and that's all they're willing to do for us? What? Are you ripping USO? I thank you. My brother will be the one learning. Ahem. Then come outside later where all the external disciples are gathered. EU Yunhian. What's the use if only I will learn martial arts? I would have chosen a different group had I known they'd be so expensive. Don't sweat it. It's not like I've ever been good at sports anyways. I'll just set up a business with the remaining money and support you. Just focus on learning martial arts. 11 I 713 try my best. But I'm old. I don't know if I'll be able to really do much. Believe in yourself. I'm sure you can do it. Thanks. 7 months later, at the competition held within the sect. What? What kind of? M3. To master a martial art AXX means to understand the true meaning that the martial arts holds and physically attune to it. A third-rate warrior who understands the meaning of a martial arts can become a second-rate if they merge it into their own understanding. In order to advance from there, you need more than double the amount of understanding compared to before, no damned outsider. And equally more time and effort. But sometimes, people with enough talent seem to laugh at typical levels of understandings and speed through many stages. The Demon Slaying sect is a sect full of such talented martial artists. The great sect of Sukyung City. However, an outsider has come to defeat the direct disciples of that great sect. Within 7 months, Director Kim became as first-rate warrior who had completely mastered the absolute dragon saber technique of the Demon Slaying sect, to reach first-rate with just half a year of learning martial arts. The level of first 7-rate is a stage only attainable w/th the collaborative efforts of many skilled martial artists. On top of that, he is an outsider learning in our sect. To others, 1T would seem that our tradition has kneeled to that one man. Capture him now. Because an outsider gained the skills befit slashing an elder of a sect within 7 months, the sect is in chaos. In such a ridiculous situation, Director Kim was IMPR, zoned in his quarters, suspected of being a spy of another sect. However, I don't know why I was also considered a suspect when I don't know martial arts. I got arrested while I was at the market. Aren't you worried, Director? Haha, about what? About them suspecting you as a spy. 00000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000 That's true. But for some reason, I think I'm approaching the next wall. And if I cross it, I think I can advance to the next stage. What a monster. It hasn't even been long since he's become a first-rate martial artist, and now he's already nearing the next stage? Martial peak awaits after first rate. That level is what most sect leaders of great sects or elders are at. In Yenghua, they are known as absolute masters, www, and there are only about 1,000 of them in the whole nation. The martial arts world never mentions the stage after that, so martial peak is essentially the last stage you can attain by learning martial arts. My assumptions were wrong. At this rate, the birth of the greatest swordsman in the world will be sped up by 40 years, not 30. 7 days later. 199. HOOO. That's the flower of chi that only appears to peak martial artists. 3 flowers gather at the summit. I've crossed the barrier. FEHDFDK, I'm not so scared of the demon SLING sect leader anymore. Wow. Your talent far exceeds my imagination. I'm also impressed by myself. I never knew I'd have such talent. Maybe this was why I always loved martial arts novels as a kid. Hear ye, Young-hun and his comrade. We have orders from the sect leader to destroy the QI core of the spy Mike Wary OHMTO steal the martial arts of the demon slaying sect. Ho! I said I wasn't a spy. We were just dash. Silence. We even heard the two of you speaking in a code-like language. Restrain them. Que quoi? Phew. This was my first sect. MOHH dare you. You walk. Shit. It's a peak level martial artist. Run. Inform the sect leader. Yunhian, Tinit ol unsni I other sects in train. What will you do? I will accompany you. How about we go to the acclaimed unorthodox sect, the dragon fighting stronghold? Ha ha ha, alright. Go ahead. Let's meet there. I will. End the pursuit of the demon SLING sect's elders and leader. Ho ho. Yunhian, what took you I-9 no one OS? Ha ha. Huff puff, you're just too fast, director. He used TO call my violence out until recently. Even if it was TO survive, this world changes US1 NTO something else. It'd be great if we could return. Not to this martial arts world, but to everyday life on Earth. If I were to regress. Huff huff, I wish I could just return to Earth. IT can't be helped. Now that we're here, we need to do what we can. After being betrayed by the demon-slaying sect, Director Kim took over the dragon-fighting stronghold. 2 years after that, he toured each region of Yenghua to defeat various sects. And in the 3rd year, he finally managed to destroy the emblems of every sect. He was known as the greatest martial artist under the heavens. And he used that fame to unite the sects, forming the Martial Alliance. 7 years later, Director Kim and I were as close as brothers, ignoring the gap in our ages. He created a martial art specifically suited for me. This is the Severing Mountain Sword. I named it that hoping you'd inherit its meaning of will that would even cut down mountains. If you master the Severing Mountain Sword, I know you'll be able to reach martial peak. Not only that, the Dragon Vein Chi method that was created alongside it. This is true first-rate martial arts, different from any second or third-rate martial arts. If there was a problem. But, Hyun. You really? Ow. #H4VEN0 talent. My talent was absolutely terrible. Even though the best martial artist under the heavens created a martial art suited for me and taught me one-on-one, I barely made it to 3rd rate after an entire year. I guess IT can't be helped. IDO have some talent in medicine at least. People are talented in different areas. One day after the decade had passed, I witnessed it. 122. The level I'd only heard of in legends. 5 energies converge to the origin, Young, Hoon. That's. Ha ha ha, Eon P. What has you so surprised? Skill TALR restructuring. E.